A biplane is a vintage-style aircraft with two pairs of wings, sitting one above the other. The top wings are typically raised above the fuselage, with vertical struts bracing them to the bottom wings. Dating back to the earliest days of aviation, they're still popular for performing aerobatics. A biplane's lower wings have ailerons, which bank the airplane to the right or left. On the plane's tail, elevators pitch the plane's nose up or down, while a rudder steers it left or right. A propeller provides the propulsion. The plane has 4 wings. Each wing has 2 spars, wooden beams at the front and rear, which form the perimeter structure. A craftsman skillfully fashions these spars out of Sitka spruce. This wood is exceedingly light, yet exceptionally strong, making it one of only a few woods approved for structural use in airplanes. After sawing the wood to the spar's shape, he mounts attachment plates made of Sitka spruce and mahogany plywood. These are the end struts, steel vertical bars which will connect the upper and lower wings. He finishes the spar by refining its contour, first with a hand plane, then an electric plane. Using strips of Sitka spruce, he constructs 15 structural ribs for each wing. He begins with long strips, which have been soaking in water for a week to make them pliable. He inserts one end into a curved fixture and leaves the strips to dry. When he removes them a couple of days later, they have a permanent aerodynamic curve. He glues 2 curved strips together to form the perimeter of one rib. In between, he glues short diagonal strips called trusses. He reinforces both sides of each intersection with a rectangular piece called a gusset. An assembler mounts the 15 ribs crosswise on the front and rear wing spars, then installs 3 aluminum tubes called compression ribs. These absorb air load hitting the spars, keeping the wooden ribs from flexing under pressure. The craftsman connects the compression ribs with crisscrossing metal rods. After applying more glue to critical areas, he nails an aluminum trim over the front spar and nose of the ribs. This is called the leading edge. It's the first part of the wing to hit the wind, so it takes the brunt of the air load. Finally, he laces reinforcement tape through the ribs in an X pattern. The completed structure now moves to the covering department, where technicians drape it in heat-shrinkable polyester fabric. They cut the fabric to size, glue it to the wing perimeter, and heat the surface with an iron to shrink the fabric until it's taut. Then they stitch over the glued areas with polyester cord. They brush on a chemical which seals the pores of the fabric. This primes the surface to receive a spray coat of polyurethane paint, which is a special formulation designed for aircraft bodies. Technicians construct the fuselage frame out of high-strength steel alloy tubes. They use an electric torch to slightly melt adjoining pieces so they fuse to each other. Because there's no filler metal bonding the pieces, the welds don't add any weight to the structure. After painting the frame, technicians install aluminum floor panels and bulkheads. In the tail, they add lighter weight bulkheads made of mahogany plywood and Sitka spruce. Then it's time to bolt the engine to the front of the fuselage frame. The engine drives a propeller, made of either wood, aluminum, or a composite material. Painted aluminum body panels cover the frame. Technicians install the fuel tank between the front cockpit and the engine. Then they bolt the wings to the fuselage. Vertical steel struts connect and reinforce the 2 levels of wings, bolting to those attachment plates on the wing spars. Next, technicians mount the painted aluminum ailerons. The tail, with its elevators and rudder made of painted fabric over welded steel, and then the engine cover. They install a windscreen and instrument panel for each cockpit. The front screen can be replaced with a cockpit cover to keep the pilots warm when flying in cold weather. If you have any comments about the show, or if you'd like to suggest topics for future shows, drop us a line at sciencechannel.com/howitsmade.